The gloves are coming off. We're about to go full court press. It's time to play ball. Listen in as we tackle everything in the world of sports right now. Throw your hat in the ring at 516-572-7440. Huddle up. This is WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Welcome, everybody. A good evening to you, and how you be. I'm channeling my inner Steve Summers to Eric Fischetti's chagrin. Welcome to WHPC Sports Talk from the studios of the majestic and beautiful Garden City, New York. We are live and in living color from WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College. I thank you for being part of the broadcast. We have a great show for you tonight, unlike the game we all witnessed last night. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try to wax poetic with anybody about, oh, I love defense, and wow, did you see all the action that was going on there, the battle of brains between McVay and Belichick. I'm not going to get into that tonight, and the reason I'm not going to do it is because that is boring. As far as television is concerned, now you want to call up at 516-572-7440 and talk to Eric Fischetti's beautiful face to get on air and tell me that, Nick, you don't know football. Nick, you don't know football. And tell me that, well, last night was just a battle of brains, a defensive masterpiece by two great head coaches. You can call up and tell me that. I'll tell you this, from a viewer standpoint, from the average viewer standpoint.
The casual fan?
The casual fan, the fair weather fan, if you will.
Okay, so the Rams fans.
Exactly. This was one of the most boring, not since the
Broncos Seahawks.
The Broncos Seahawks blowout. Have I been so bored to watch a Super Bowl? This was dead air. Eric, your thoughts?
Listen, again, I'm with you on that. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, I wasn't, locked into the game. Unfortunately for me, though, I had to work yesterday during the whole game. But I made $95 last night. Yeah!
I made $500. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
Yeah. Apparently, people like pizza on Super Bowl Sunday. Obviously.
Yeah.
I'm not, okay, excuse me for not realizing that pizza is a Super Bowl Sunday thing. Yeah, I know,
wings,
people. Calm down.
And wings.
And wings, I get it. I didn't expect that. And who doesn't like wings? Another thing I whiffed on. Will you people calm down?
Relax. The man's just working.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jeez.
You're welcome.
Anyway.
I'm on your side.
The bottom line is, I did not expect to be that busy. Wound up walking out like 4:70 after tip out. Like, it was ridiculous. People were in that building the entire day. The entire day. There was a full dining room of people watching the Super Bowl at Anthony's Coal Fire Pizza in Farmingdale. Not even kidding. So anyway, back to the game.
But
Eric.
yeah, we digress. This was a good game in the terms of defensive matchup, if you're into that. Now, I was on the record this whole week, last week actually, that I thought that this was going to be an offensive powerhouse because that's basically, the theme of this year's NFL.
Me and Ross said that 2 weeks ago. Remember? We were like, we think this is going to be a shootout.
Yeah.
I mean, again...
Yeah, we were proving dead wrong on that one.
Yes, we were.
This just proves to me, number one, I think this was too big for the Rams, which kind of stinks because I was looking forward to them, giving them a shot against the Patriots, which I thought they had. I picked them to win. A lot of people picked them to win, but I think in the back of our mind, we're thinking to ourselves, yeah, the Patriots are going to win. It's fine. They're going to walk all over them. But this just proves to me that we got robbed of a Breeze-Brady Super Bowl, which would have been a better score and maybe a better team matchup. Who knows? It could have been a defensive matchup, Saints-Patriots too. But the thing is, Brady didn't really have a good game. It was everybody else that had a great game.
Which is impressive because when you think about Edelman having the game that he did, and I know Julian, not on necessarily a personal level, but I've met the man several times. I shared a couple beers with him. Julian Edelman's like just a gentleman, a good dude. Yeah. He was one of my brother's best, like not best friends, but closer friends.
Listen,
keep in mind he got drafted the year after my brother was drafted
as a quarterback.
Drafted as a receiver, but he was a quarterback coming in
at Kent State.
Yeah. So
you know what's funny about that? Julian Edelman is one of my favorite players.
One of the most likable people in the world.
If I was any other fandom other than a Giants fan, I would own a Julian Edelman jersey. I'm not even kidding. Man.
I
love that player so much.
That is a hard sell for Giants fans. I'm sure you could get
a Giants fan.
I know you prefaced it with that, but I think even Giants fans are flipping over in their chairs going, "Did he just say that?"
I love Julian Edelman. Let's be honest. You can have favorite players on other teams, unless you're me, who hates everybody in the NFC East. So I got that going for me. But I respect players. Yeah. I don't like a lot of them, but I respect them.
I know. You can respect them all. Like I said.
Like Dak. I respect Dak. I don't like him because he's a Cowboy.
Well, yeah. I don't even...
the same thing with Romo. I don't like him, but I respect him.
You know what? I'm going to digress, but I think there's plenty of Giants fans in their living room sounding to us like Roy Armstrong. Hey, you don't root for that Edelman boy. I got Chadwick. That's what I'm thinking is going on in Giants fans' living rooms right now, hearing you say that. The resident Giants fan on WHBC Sports Talk. By the way, we have another guest in the studio.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Who,
I'm just kidding.
Well, hold on. Well, no. Ross, I got to introduce you properly to the show. And you don't exactly... maybe you don't exactly know how it happened, but when I first did the show, I had a theme. I thought to myself, you know what? We need to get to know each other, right?
Oh, yeah.
We really need to get to know each other. So since we kind of know your fandoms already, I'm just going to give you a little taste of what we do for newbies to the show. It's time for a little...
Getting to know you.
We haven't done this in a while.
A long time?
Since Dad.
Getting to know you.
Ross, please.
Getting to know.
Tell us all about you. Tell us about your dreams, your sports fandoms. For anybody new listening, please tell us about you, Ross.
All right, I'm a Giants fan.
Yes,
nice.
Giants.
Giants. I'm also a Rangers fan. Actually.
Gross.
Yeah, I know. I'm also a Knicks fan, unfortunately.
I am sorry to hear that.
Well, we'll get into that, Ross. Don't you worry.
And I am one more fan. I am a Yankee fan.
Oh, Yankee fan.
Yeah, nice. You like winners.
And you said you're a Ranger fan.
Yeah.
Gross.
All right. Well, we'll forgive you for that for today.
Well, we got the whole tri-state area.
Hey, listen, we got Devils, we got Islanders, we got Rangers.
Place.
I think Dan, we forgot to introduce Dan. Dan hasn't spoken this whole entire broadcast. Dan, what are you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Dan is like so shook up from the Patriots win last night. He's wearing his Panthers sweatshirt right now.
Yeah.
He was just in the corner. He's like,
it's awkward.
I remember the Super Bowl. We almost had it.
Yeah, we almost had it. When did they almost have it?
I mean, on topic of
that
32-29.
I'm sorry. You were talking about like 17 years ago. Almost had it.
On topic of I did go to the Island.
Dan wasn't even born then.
Nope.
Go ahead.
No, I was born. I was born in 2000.
What are you, 2
You were born
years
in
old?
2000?
Yeah.
What year was that Super Bowl? You were 5 years old.
2003? Like 2004?
2004.
3.
Was it 2000?
No, 4 was Eagles Pats.
Oh, okay,
It was
that's right.
3, right?
That's right. Okay, so you were 4 years old.
I was like 3 or 4 years old. Yeah.
Okay, so you're at an age where you could possibly remember something.
Yeah, I remember Tom Brady ruined my whole life. Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, it wasn't Tom Brady. Remember, it wasn't Tom Brady that ruined your life that Super Bowl. It was Adam Vinatieri. Adam Vinatieri, Super Bowl MVP. But anyway, Ross, thank you for introducing us to all that. And it's nice to get to know you a little more now that I'm back at the helm. Ross, I have a question for you. And before we... Shut up, Dan.
I was at the game.
We know! You said...
Kings.
Oh, I called it.
I saw that. That was,
That was a great game.
You got to see a good one.
It was a great game.
Oh, wait, that's right.
Yes.
That's right. How was it?
It was at the Coliseum. It was so much fun. The place was packed.
Was that
it
your
was
first
so
time
loud.
there?
And my first time there in the new state, in like the new Coliseum, like
Let's
this
not
year.
call the refurbished. It's not a,
Okay,
it's not
my
a new
fault,
Coliseum.
my
It's the
fault.
same.
Let me just give you
The barn.
A wise man once told me this. His name was Jacob Falk. He said, "I love the Coliseum now. It just has a facelift."
Exactly.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
It's literally that's all it is. They
it's-
put some new stuff on it.
Yes.
The hallways
around
are
all
just
the
a
old
little
stuff.
bit wider.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a beautiful place. The bathrooms are still disgusting, but like it's
Yeah,
such a
that's not a
beautiful
surprise.
place. But like the atmosphere was
Try
insane.
the bathrooms in Green Bay and tell me about disgusting.
You went to Green Bay too,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, I've been everywhere, man.
What was your favorite place you've been?
Favorite stadium?
Yeah.
Favorite stadium, and this is, as a Penn State fan, this hurts me to say.
The Horseshoe.
The Horseshoe.
Easily.
Easily. Easy. I'll tell you why.
I mean, if only they
Hold
had
on.
a real team in Ohio, that'd be cool.
I'll tell you why it's not Notre Dame. Why it's not. Here's the reason. Notre Dame has benches. They do not have seats.
Bleachers, yeah.
No. I don't even call them bleachers. They're benches. They're like park benches in front of like little picnic. I swear to God, it is the worst seating environment. You are.
And Notre Dame?
Oh, it's awful.
Dude, I want to go to the swamp so bad.
I've never been to the swamp.
You want to go?
I want to go to the Ohio State.
You want to make a trip?
Can we?
Let's do that next year. Let's go to a Florida. I think
A Florida State?
if I'm not
A Florida
mistaken,
game?
Florida State's actually playing Penn State this year. So let's do that.
You mean Florida?
I mean Florida. The Gators are playing Penn State this year.
At Penn State or at Florida?
No. I'm pretty sure it's at.
They're in Gainesville?
Okay, let me.
Oh, dude.
I'm gonna clarify this, but before we go any further, I would love to get Ross's thoughts on the game as a whole. Super Bowl. By the way, it's 5:10. You're listening to WHBC Sports Talk. We're recapping Super Bowl 53. In me and Eric's opinion, I think I'm speaking for both of us. One of the most boring Super Bowls we've ever watched.
Listen, I'm not going to tell you that I was disengaged from the Super Bowl.
Neither was I, but
I watched it, but I wasn't like overwhelmed because I overheard on my way here actually from one of my favorite shows to listen to, the Michael Kay Show.
Sure.
And Don LaGreca was talking, and I happen to agree with him, but I'm just claiming that. I could be lying to you. You'll never know. Not one play in this Super Bowl, maybe with the exception of Gronkowski catching it between two defenders to get down to the 2-yard line, was memorable. None of them. Not one play was memorable.
No, there's no like Edelman had a catch like
maybe
2 years
the
ago.
McCourty play.
Maybe.
when Goff just didn't throw right away to, I think it was either Woods
Robert
or
Woods.
Cook. It was Woods,
Yeah,
right?
in the end zone.
Goff looked bad.
yeah,
looked
man.
bad.
No. That was Patrick
looked
Chung.
bad.
Was off yeah. You're talking about the one in the middle of the end zone where Jason McCourty had to come all the way over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great. That is the
That was a
memorable
great
moment
heads-up
of
play.
this because that's a touchdown.
But either way, that's the only one. That's the only one, if anything. Maybe the Gronkowski catch, maybe Edelman having a hell of a game, but what about Sonny Michel? What about Todd Gurley run
Sonny
that
Michel had a touchdown.
Which one?
Sonny Michel had a touchdown.
I understand that. I understand that. But if we look back on this Super Bowl, I would say in maybe about 3 years, is there anything about this Super Bowl, maybe with the exception of the McCourty play, that you're going to be like, damn, that was a great play?
I'll tell you what. Well, not a great play, but the Super Bowl remembered because it's such an iconic Super Bowl.
Is that
in
the
sense,
lowest scoring one?
It's the lowest scoring
And Tom
one
Brady got
in
6
NFL history, and on top of that, it is the Super Bowl where Tom Brady finally matches Michael Jordan with 6 rings.
What an accomplishment.
There's one
honestly.
moment in that Super Bowl that I probably will remember. There's one specific play that actually, like, it wasn't a play that everyone remembered. It was one play that, like, Tony Romo described in the middle of the game. It was when they threw a long pass on the sideline and they incompleted, but they had to open Robert Woods across the middle.
Right.
For like 30 yards, and he could have gotten like 40, 50 if they threw it across the middle. And you're going to look back on that and say, like, you could have threw it across the middle, and that could have been a game changer right then and there. They could have went in the red zone the first time all game.
It comes down to the fact that Jared Goff looked, in my opinion, very unprepared for this Super Bowl, or super nervous because he was making mistakes we haven't seen him make all year.
He looked like his rookie season, Jared Goff, in my opinion.
No. I think they got too conservative. McVay was very conservative this whole playoff.
Well, I want to talk more about McVay in a moment, but I need to get Ross's opinion on the Super Bowl in general.
Everybody shut up except Ross.
Was this an exciting Super Bowl in any way, shape, or form to you, Ross?
No.
Okay.
It was not exciting at all. In fact, it was the worst, actually, maybe.
You know what? In terms of viewership, it's up there. because it was. Go ahead.
I have an amazing stat for you.
Okay, please.
2007, Giants Patriots, 17-14. No. This is incredible.
This is Eric living in the past.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
This is incredible. That Super Bowl got less views than this one.
That's shocking.
Isn't it?
That's shocking.
18-0. They had a chance to go 19-0, actually. They were 18-0 going into the Super Bowl. That Super Bowl got less views than last night.
But this goes back to what I was saying before the Super Bowl was played. You have two of the biggest markets, and don't disparage Boston. It is a huge media market.
Boston's title town.
And it's on the East Coast. You have the entire country engaged. Even Middle America's all saying, boy, we hate them Patriots. I hope they live. People in Chicago are going, I can't stand to see Tom Brady win another Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
That was really good.
You're welcome.
That was really good.
I could probably finagle another accent if I wanted to. No. Let's just keep going. But my point is,
Stick to your
you're not alienating anybody with the Super Bowl, so you're including everybody. You have the hated Patriots of the East Coast, the entire Maine, Vermont,
Connecticut,
New Hampshire, Connecticut, upstate New York.
Yeah.
Plenty of Patriots fans. And then on top of that, Massachusetts. And over here, my best friend is a Patriots fan.
Oh, that must have been a fun championship game for you then.
Oh, my God. I remember sitting in his living room while Pete Carroll called the interception play to Butler.
Jeez.
Yeah. Imagine getting that rubbed in your face. I was laughing at him the whole game, Eric.
I can't.
But back to what we were trying to get to. So you didn't think it was enjoyable, Mr. Levine. Give me a little more insight. What specifically about this game kind of turned you off from it?
It was low scoring. That's one.
Okay.
One lowest scoring game in Super Bowl history. That's one. Two. Sean McVay did not play the system correctly. I mean, you cannot be conservative against Bill Belichick. You're not going to win that way.
No, you're right.
You're never going to win that way. And also, what's even worse, Brady sucked too.
Brady wasn't good.
Yeah, Brady
You're
wasn't.
right.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up. When you
sucked.
think about what he put together, he just put together enough. Just enough. And if you're calling, we'll give it another shot. 516-572-7440. Give it another shot. The new phone system, we're getting used to it. We'll figure it out here at some point. But having said that, you're right, Ross. Tom Brady wasn't great. There's a reason we're not talking about another Super Bowl MVP from him. There's a reason.
I mean, it's absolutely nuts that the fact that Tom Brady did not have the best game of his career. Apparently, this was the worst game he's ever played in a title game.
Yeah.
He's been in a lot of title games, as we have seen, against the Eagles. 500 yards
And he
last
lost.
year. And he lost.
Yeah, I know.
Can you imagine
that's
a quarterback?
crazy.
Can you imagine a quarterback that throws for 500 yards, over 500 yards, and they lose?
That's something insane to see. Like, I don't know. He had a mediocre game. The real main offensive player in that game was Julian Edelman with 10 catches, 149 yards.
It's nuts, and the fact that they didn't give the MVP to Sony Michel, I'll never understand. But who cares?
Why didn't they give the MVP to the punter?
Oh, true.
That's a great point.
Hold on,
They were
hold on.
pinned back. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
For the brand, okay? Pat McAfee, I follow him on Instagram. He's hilarious. But
Yes.
anyway, for the brand, there was the longest punt in Super Bowl history that game. 65 yards by Johnny Hecker. And the Patriots punter put him in their 5-yard line. It's like 4 times in that game. And Slater on the Patriots on the special teams side, special teams was phenomenal for the New England Patriots. That's something they've always been good at. And I'm surprised when I went on NFL.com to vote for an MVP, I couldn't vote for a punter. I was very upset.
Were you?
I think they were very, very important.
Hey, I didn't think anyone deserved it other than the punters. I'm not going to lie. They played a phenomenal game.
Brian Allen's a nice punter. Don't get me wrong.
To look him up.
Don't get me wrong. Well, listen, I actually am pretty well versed in punters. Shane Leckler was one of my favorite punters growing up. Obviously, your punter,
Steve Weatherford.
Yes, sir.
Huge.
Your boy was one of the. He might be. I mean, think of Hall of Fame punters, and then his name is the only one that really comes up.
Ray Guy.
Steve Weatherford did everything.
Yeah, you're right, Ray Guy. But
He's Hall of Famer, I mean.
But I'm just saying, like, this era I'm talking about.
Yeah, Steve Weatherford.
Steve Weatherford's the only one we're ever really talking about. Ryan Allen had a great game. I remember they had another really good punter before him, Zoltan Mesko. Actually, one of my brother's best friends on that team when he played there.
Get out
The
of
punter,
here.
of all people.
Punters are people, too.
Yeah, hashtag all punters matter. 516-572-7440. 516-572-7440 if you want to get your point across. You want to talk about the Super Bowl? Here's your chance. Go ahead, give us a call, and we'll talk more about it. Do it! Do it!
Just do it!
Dan, what else did you feel about the Super Bowl? Anything else that sticks out to you? Because I want to get to Sean McVay next. But anything else that we're missing here? I know we're underplaying Julian Edelman. Yes, Super Bowl MVP. Yes, a wonderful game. What else is on your mind?
One other thing on my mind, like, I'm a big defensive guy personally, so I actually liked this Super Bowl for that reason, even though it wasn't exciting for the average person to watch because it wasn't high scoring, obviously. But anyway, the New England defense rattled that Rams offensive line, who won the offensive line of the year, which I don't think that they should have won that, but we're not going to talk about that later.
Well, to me, the offensive line of the year to me was the Saints' offensive line. I thought the way.
How about I was going to say
I'm
the
going
Colts.
Colts.
I know people want to bring up the Colts. I know the young kids. You want to give it to them. I thought what they were able to do for Drew Brees at the age of 40.
It's phenomenal.
Is phenomenal.
But the Rams, hold on. But the Rams won that award, and they didn't look like they played up to that.
Right.
And
Goff was getting hit all game.
Goff got destroyed so many times. He had cuts on his elbows, on his hand. He was getting manhandled. He was getting brutally beat by the New England.
Do you think that they laid back on a lot of the calls? Because one of them that stands out in my mind, Goff was rushed out of the pocket,
yes.
and he went to the right sideline, and he got pushed out of bounds. And I'm convinced.
Was that by McCourty? Was that the one we got laid out of bounds? Where we had 1 foot in bounds and 1 foot out of bounds, and they didn't call it?
I think it was by Van Noy. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm convinced if that was Brady.
Oh, no, it was Van Noy. It was like a 15-yard head start, and he ran him out to the side, and he hit him it
just stands out in my mind. It was Goff rushing out of the pocket to the right sideline, and he was pushed out of bounds while he was basically going out of bounds. I'm convinced that would have been a penalty.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
and they didn't call it.
And one other one that stood out in my mind was when Hightower in the end zone, when Jared Goff got rid of the ball and he body slammed him to the ground in the middle of the end zone. I'm surprised they didn't call anything on that because that was very vigorous and very hard. He threw him down.
For once, the refs are eating the whistles when they shouldn't have.
After the championship week, why wouldn't they? Of course they're eating the whistles because they were getting killed 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Rightfully so.
I was saying, going to the game, the X factor is Brandon Cooks. He drops 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. He could have been the biggest part of the game. You're right. He dropped 2 touchdown passes.
I don't know why I went with that. I gotta be honest. I should have went Gurley.
You know what?
He didn't do much either, but
Ross,
time out. You called Super Bowl MVP as Edelman.
I was idiotic on
I
my
did.
part.
If the Patriots won, I said it that if the Patriots won, it was going to go to Edelman because number one, it was Brady's favorite target. He's such a team player, special teams too that he's put on all the time, and just by far, in fact, obviously you want to throw to Gronkowski or you want to throw to Hogan, who didn't really do much either.
Nope.
What's his name? James White didn't do much either. Rex Burkhead got a lot more carries. Sony Michel got a lot more carries.
Sony Michel's going to be something, I'm telling you that.
I think so too. I
can see it in him. He had 6 postseason touchdowns.
Yeah,
that's the most for a rookie.
But Ross, don't feel bad because I picked Gurley to be the MVP if the Rams won too, and he didn't do anything. The biggest run that he had was called back because of a holding.
He literally cooled off from the regular season.
Anderson was better. And I'm convinced that Gurley was hurt.
Hold on. Before we get into this, this is part of what I want to talk about. And before we go any further, we do have a caller online with us. So before we go any further, let's get them on and let's talk a little Super Bowl, whatever they really want to talk about, because we've been trying to figure out this phone situation. Thank God. It seems like we have a fix. Yeah, it seems like we're functioning like a show. So, caller, please identify yourself.
Deposit 25 cents for the next 5 minutes.
Yes.
Dave, Franklin Square. What's going on, brother?
What's shaking? It's
nothing.
amazing. Exactly. Sort of like the game, nothing. Yeah,
nothing.
All of a sudden, you've got blitzes coming out of nowhere, and you offensively, you're in a tight system. That's when you spread New England out and make them pay for their blitzing. I mean, you've got a faster team in Los Angeles. Get the guys on the outside that know how to run, and New England would not be able to take advantage of, I won't say an inexperienced line, but an inexperienced quarterback, pardon me. But the blocking schemes just weren't there. They really weren't.
Yeah, I agree with you completely.
I do agree with you, Steve, on that one. But one thing, Dave. I don't know what to say.
Where'd you get Steve?
I don't know. Don't ask. Dave, I agree with you on that one. But the one time that the Patriots did send the house, I hate you guys.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
You suck, Dan. Go ahead.
The one time the Patriots did send the house, they did get an interception off it in the final drive when they sent 7 guys. They sent the safety.
When he put that duck up? Oh,
Yeah,
Yes.
he got
Literally a duck.
Literally.
You could hear it quacking as it flew by.
as I said before, Elmer Fudd was on the sideline ready to shoot the darn thing.
Oh my god!
Oh,
it was-
man.
You know, I did have it when they went up to the luxury boxes, and I saw Brady's kids with Giselle. Could you imagine these kids have been eating kale chips, and all of a sudden you see hot dogs and hamburgers, and they're like, distract mom, I'm having one of these. I don't care what goes on. You know? Oh, my
Exactly.
goodness.
And his kids are well off.
Oh,
so-
yeah. They don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, and just one quick one with the commercial. Hennessy was actually promoting an African-American bike rider that won something in 1896.
I saw
Oh,
that.
yeah,
I
I
like
did
that
see
one.
that, yeah.
I like that
I
one.
did not see that one.
That one was really good.
We're going to get into the Super Bowl commercials in a little bit. What were your thoughts on the commercials as a whole, Dave?
No, I'm just saying, how do you combine bike riding with drinking Hennessy?
It seems irresponsible.
But like, it was a very good commercial.
They should have just put it to this song. Go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
59 degrees outside, and they have to close the roof. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, insane. Open it up. By the way, someone made a very never mind. I can't say it on air. Not on this air. I think Eric's laughing because he saw the same thing, but I'm not gonna mention it. Apparently, as the roof of the Atlanta Dome opens, since it does so in a circular motion, it looks like a certain part of the human anatomy.
Your mouth.
Yes, sure. If you're puckering your lips.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think he's got it. Moving on.
Oh, and Eric, you did put out a question yesterday about.
Oh, yeah.
I did.
And I did answer it, and I said, "What was it? It was all about punting and place kicking."
Yep.
That's what it came down to.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it looks like the Raiders are going to be sharing the Oracle Park with the San Francisco Giants.
I
next
saw
that. Yeah.
That is incredible to me. This Oakland Raiders team, just in general, is just so. It's something's wrong.
They lost me.
They need to get to Vegas as soon as possible. But you know what? I actually think the Raiders will fill up. I almost called it AT&T. The Raiders will fill up Oracle Park. I really do think so. They're going to travel well. Oakland's not that far away from San Francisco.
And their delusional fans think that their coach / I guess GM knows what he's doing.
Hey,
so.
don't make fun of Chucky like that.
Whatever.
Hey.
I don't care about Chuck. I'm not even getting involved with it. This guy just flat out doesn't know what he's doing. He is behind 14 years, 15 years of coaching. He's going to ruin this franchise.
Al Davis's ghost is rolling over. He said, "John Gruden's the man."
Yeah. Al Davis's ghost will be forever doing somersaults because of this guy. So.
Yeah, well, you want to be his offspring, Mark Davis, who really screwed that up.
Giving him $100 million contract. What are you thinking?
He must have thought that Rich Gannon was still there, or Daryl LaMonica.
It's like giving $100 million to Richie Kotite. What else you got?
No, I'll let you go, but I did hear an interview yesterday, believe it or not, with Tommy John. He's got a book out, so if you're ever if you ever contact him. But he brought up the fact that he there was a dinner for agents in Beverly Hills. Agents don't even, scouts. Scouts don't even check out minor league ball players anymore. He said it's all about launch angle and spin.
Is that true? Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, again, Tommy John, he was rather adamant about the youth as far as overdoing it in sports like that. And I'll let you go just to what he said. He goes, if you have a kid that's a right-handed pitcher and he's pitching all the time, he says you put your hand on his neck and you put it on the right side, and you put his hand on his neck and on his shoulder. And if it's hard as a rock, the kid is overdoing it.
Is that true? Wow.
I used to pitch.
So, maybe that, I've never, I don't know about anybody out there listening or you, Dave. When I tried to pitch, I could really crank it up there, but I assure you, my stuff was absolutely tight. Like, everything about me was tight. I guarantee you that.
Let me ask you something, because I assume it was Little League, right?
Well, yeah.
Did you pitch and play everywhere else? Because that's what I did, and I didn't even care if I was, uptight. I don't even know if I was. Nobody really did. I just kept playing.
Right, yeah.
I didn't really feel anything and figure like I'm about 8, 9, 10, 11
But that's
years
because
old.
you're young. At that age, you don't know the difference between hurt, injured, or just, tight and strained. You know what I mean?
Who knows? It could have been everything. I have no idea.
That's a great point, by the way, Dave. I'm glad you brought that
I
up.
actually didn't know that. Thank you.
He also brought up a point that the travel teams and stuff like that, they become very exclusive. Exclusive. He says he's seen some of the worst fights between husbands and wives with the travel teams.
Really? Well, South Park made an episode about that once with Bat Dad or whatever, just beating up people in the stands. It was actually very, very funny.
It's America.
Yeah, because all of a sudden the wife doesn't want to go and she gets dragged along, and then all that simmering hatred explodes on the road. And, sleeping in hotel rooms that you don't want to be sleeping in, and, subject to eating, at the Golden Corral and stuff like that. So.
Oh, good God.
Right, have a good show, guys.
Hey, you too.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
We did not get our normal one-liner from Dave. I'm a little surprised.
I don't know. I'm waiting for this joke at the end. I was waiting for it.
There's normally one, but you know what? I'll tell you what. I'll give him credit for not doing it today because, you know what? There's nothing. Last night there's nothing funny about it. It was just a boring game, and he brought up some good points too. I'm glad he brought that up about baseball. We have some baseball news, not really news to break, but definitely some stuff to talk about way later in the show. We got more Super Bowl coming up for you. Me, Dan, Ross, Eric, we're coming back at you right after this, but don't go anywhere because I have a wonderful message about one of our best shows on this station. You got to listen to it. It's coming right now.
Shake off the realities of the day, broaden your musical horizons, and embrace the diversity every Monday afternoon at 6 on Revelations. The show offers a potently unique collection of music with an emphasis on themes and rock rarities, an occasional tour de force of blues and soul, mixed with compelling sets of folk and folk rock. I'm Steve K, and I've got the perfect soundtrack for your drive home every Monday afternoon at 6 on Revelations, right here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
You gotta keep them separated.
You gotta keep them separated. Now we're back. I love you guys for actually doing it for me once.
You yelled at us.
I did. Right? I yelled at you, and it worked. This is what discipline does. Welcome back, WHPC Sports Talk, right here on WHPC, 90.3 WHPC. You're listening to the best sports show in New York. No, I'm not being hyperbolic when I say that.
We are the best English-speaking sports show on this side of New Zealand.
And you know what? We're taking you to the 6 o'clock hour, at which point Steve K takes over with Revelations. You just heard his promo. Do not miss it. The man is a myth, a man, a legend. I said it backwards. I don't care. You definitely got to listen to it. It's one of my favorite shows. I listen to it every day when I'm driving home from the station. So please, 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 please give it a listen. A little more Super Bowl before we move on. Obviously, that's the topic of the day, but not in the way you're thinking. Edelman, MVP, hooray. Tom Brady looked a little shaky, but it didn't look like Tom Brady was getting old. It just looked like he was figured out.
He just had a bad game.
Had a bad game.
It's whatever. He can afford.
And you know, all the Brady haters are going to come out and say, like, oh, look at the game Brady had. He's done. He's done. In the wake of a Super Bowl, really, idiot? That's what you're going to say?
Who knows? He very well could be. I don't see it. I don't believe it.
I don't believe it.
I think that he might surpass Brett Favre. I think you kind of convinced me with that one. But listen, Brady was already the greatest of all time, in my opinion, in terms of quarterbacks, maybe of players. But listen, if he even lost his Super Bowl, he still would have been the greatest of all time. Nobody has done it better at any position in football, better than what Brady has been doing as a quarterback.
I was just going to say was the rant. I mean, I think Brady would have been the best of all time either way.
I think so too.
Win or lose, but I was just going to say in terms, just one quick note on the Rams.
Sure, hit me.
Is that I know it's Belichick. I know he has a specialty of defense against young quarterbacks. Forget about Bill Belichick. The New England defense is not the 85 Bears. They're not the New Orleans Saints. They're not a Jacksonville Jaguars defense.
Nope.
So the beginning of the year. Go ahead.
So how could you only score 3 points against a bottom 20 defense?
I'll tell you what. Here's the reason. I can tell you right now.
Eric, go.
They were not ready for the moment. That's it. That's it. They just weren't ready.
I don't think it's just that. I think Sean McVay made some very questionable coaching decisions, first and foremost of them. Unless you're right, Eric, and Todd Gurley was hurt.
Which I think he is, honestly. I wouldn't be
that's
surprised.
True. If that's true.
I think he's hurt too.
I wouldn't be surprised if maybe in a week, maybe 2 weeks from now, that he gets surgery on his knee. I'm serious.
I have a third option, and tell me if you agree with this.
Okay.
It's either he was hurt, which is fine. If you couldn't play him too much because he's hurt, you benefit your star running back's health moving forward with this franchise. I understand. If it was a coaching decision, hey, we need to keep the lightning in a bottle with C.J. Anderson. Terrible, terrible coaching decision. He should be reamed for it. Third option. If we hear in the next couple of months that there was some disciplinary action taken for Todd Gurley, that could be and loom large as a big factor in this Super Bowl, much like we saw with Malcolm Butler.
I was about to say, yeah.
So
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I'm not saying I even have any inclination of that. I'm just suggesting it as an option.
If there was any disciplinary action between McVay and Gurley, very, very under the radar, too.
Teams are getting better at this, not great at it. Think about how long it took for us to find out about the Kareem Hunt scenario, and you're not going to sit here and tell me that the Kansas City Chiefs didn't know about it months before it came out. I won't buy that for a second. Still disappointed in my team for that, and the NFL as a whole, but that's a whole different story. Let's not even touch it. My other final point on the game as a whole was Jared Goff. We have seen him roll out of the pocket like he was all night. I wouldn't say all night. He attempted. Is it just me, or did it seem like he was attempting to be something he's not? He's not a typical, prototypical stay in the pocket quarterback. Rolling out, getting out to your comfort zone, having blockers outside of the pocket. That's a lot of what the Rams do. And there was a specific play where he got kind of bashed to his knees on a sack.
Yeah.
Where he could have just thrown the ball away.
It was third down.
A lot of this game.
It was third down,
There
though.
were 5 third downs he took sacks on.
And that took him out of field goal range.
It was 3rd and 2, I believe.
And it took him out of field goal range on that play, too.
So, what you're looking at is a young kid in the moment, and like you said, Eric, just not ready for it. Not processing the game the same way.
I couldn't agree more with you, Nick, right there.
I just think that this was a sad day for Jared Goff. Would we love to see him win a Super Bowl? Yes.
Do you
100%.
think that they'll be back?
In the next couple years, probably not. The NFC is a very, very loaded area right now. You're still dealing with the Saints.
Let's just go through it really quick. The NFC North is going to be so much better this year.
Saints, NFC North. Let's start there. You're right.
Bears.
Packers will be fine because they still have Aaron Rodgers. I don't doubt for 1 second if he can get a healthy season of the Packers, they're going to be fine.
The Bears.
Dangerous. Vikings. Kirk Cousins. That defense. Dangerous. Still ranked top 5.
Let's just even go to NFC East now because I'm writing off the Lions. I'm sorry. The Cowboys, if they bring back Amari Cooper, are going to be status quo.
I agree. They'll be just as good.
The Eagles, there's no way that they can be this bad again next year.
No, I don't think so.
The Giants could be better. Depending on how this draft goes, they could be, because now you've got another year of Pat Shermer under your belt. I'm not saying they're a playoff team, but they're going to be better.
I'm not going to rip you apart right now.
I see Nick's face from this. He looked at me like, he's not doing this right now. He's like, the Giants are not good.
The Giants. Listen, everybody knows my point on the Giants. I'm not harping on it. They set their franchise back 5 years with the Saquon Barkley pick. Go ahead.
He did win Rookie of the Year, though. But
yes, he did. We're getting to that in just a moment. Stick around. 516-572-7440.
The main reason I'm going to say this is because I think the Redskins took a step back because you don't know what's going to happen with their quarterback situation. So that leaves maybe a 3-way battle between the Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants, depending on how the offseason goes.
Okay. Go to the NFC West.
The NFC West, it's L.A., I think the Niners!
Garoppolo's coming back!
G.
Oh, my God,
and with a tight end now that he can trust.
George Kittle.
Kittle is going to have a huge year with Garoppolo if he stays healthy.
Again, I think it's going to be a battle between the Rams and the Niners. I think the Seahawks might be able to take a step back because they benefited of the Niners losing Garoppolo this year. That's the only reason why.
They benefited also just from Pete Carroll and their front office just building around Russell Wilson. That is going to be a dangerous offense moving forward. Continue.
And that wasn't even a rebuild either. That was a reload.
It was a retooling. You rarely see that.
And NFC South. Can never count out the Panthers.
Never.
In my mind, the Falcons. You can't do that.
Especially with that. I mean, geez, you have to keep in mind how loaded that Falcons offense still is.
Yes, the Falcons offense.
Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu, Coleman, Freeman,
Ridley.
Calvin Ridley. Expect him to have a big breakout year. What you got, Ross?
I was going to say in terms of the Falcons and the NFC. The Falcons are
Even
in
the
the
Bucks,
South,
too,
right?
honestly.
NFC South,
NFC
yes,
South.
sir.
Yeah,
along with the Panthers, who you can't count out either. Cam Newton. Stop it with you Superman over there.
You can never count. By the way, I like your sweatshirt. It's nice.
It really is a
very
nice.
nice
I'll
sweatshirt,
tell you
right?
what. For as much as the Panthers don't matter, they make great clothes.
They do. They do. Black and
welcome.
blue. Black and blue.
I'm going to kill you, Nick.
You can't say, I wonder if you can you say that on radio? WHPC does not necessarily support the views and
violence.
thoughts of Dan Morales on murdering people on air. Go ahead, Ross.
I was going to say with the Falcons, to me, they're still not a playoff team to me, and they're not even really.
I can't see why, because the Falcons
That-
had a lot of injuries on defense this year. Week 1, they lost Keanu Neal. That was a huge part of their defense.
It's not even. It's not
Florida
even.
prodigy,
It's
weak
not even
shot.
just that.
All right.
Though. It's not even just that reason. It's also. I know it's a couple of years ago. That Super Bowl, to me, that collapse still is in their head. Straight up.
I don't think you're wrong at all. I really don't, because that was the Super Bowl that the Falcons absolutely should have won. 100% agree with you. But
it was
are you
rigged.
really going to let that stop you from being doo-doo the next year?
No.
Because they were bad the next year. They were bad this year.
Yeah.
It all stemmed from injuries. Yes, every team has injuries. You have to have a way to overcome them. But the Falcons, I refuse to count out. I love Quinn as a head coach, and I love Matt Ryan. And Dan, I'm being honest here.
I'm going to be honest with you after you.
Out of
be
everyone
honest.
in the NFC South, with the exception of the Saints,
Yeah.
I think you fear the Falcons the most.
Oh no, Falcons always have the Panthers number for some reason every time. I feel like Julio Jones plays the Panthers like he has like 150 yards every game. It's absolutely insane. But I'm gonna be honest here. The Panthers, next year, I don't think they're gonna be a playoff team. I think they need to get a few more pieces, like a wide receiver and a few linemen, to make themselves better, surround themselves with Cam Newton. I think the defense is all right, but that's my personal opinion.
I think we have agreed that it's going to be a hard road for the Rams to go through. Are they still the class of the NFC? I think with that defense, with that quarterback, that running back, their offensive line, the receivers they have at their disposal, keep in mind they're going to get Cooper Kupp back next year.
Yeah.
So there's a lot
That was
goes
a huge
into
loss.
it. That's a huge loss. There's a lot that goes into it.
Dilly dilly.
Oh, do you know what that means? It's time to talk about the Super Bowl commercials.
Yes.
For the
What Super Bowl commercials?
yeah. First of all, this was the worst Super Bowl in history, not just because the game sucked, because the commercials suck.
See-
Now, I love the Dilly Dilly Bud Light thing,
You're the only one.
but they tied it. They tied it to Game of Thrones the whole time.
And the dude killed the dude. At
Just,
the end.
oh my God, just
That was
stop. And why is it that every time you want to get a decent message out there, a PSA, you buy some airtime, you have to have it back? Oh, yeah, children starving, blah, blah, blah. Brought to you by Heineken. You know what I mean? Like, whatever it is, it's just every time. Like, I'm sick of it. The shameless promotion of these companies getting behind causes. Like, let the causes be causes, please. Sure, you can wrench a tear here or there, but I don't need to hear it's presented by Hennessy, like you said, or Heineken or whatever. Let them have their own airtime. I don't know. It just bothered me. And then on top of that, none of them were funny. We all agree the best one was the NFL 100 commercial.
best. The best.
That was actually, in my opinion, that was a really good Super Bowl commercial. That just tied in so many. You see Patrick Mahomes is one where he threw the sidearm, no look, he's like, hey, Russell, watch this. And throws the
Jim Brown,
and then
Barry Sanders.
and then
a lot of innuendos in there.
Yeah.
A lot of
Christian McCaffrey was in the beginning.
Yeah.
It was?
Yeah, he yelled,
Very-
he yelled the ball, and the ball was in the middle of the floor when they all went tackle it. And then I like when Aaron Donald would, and he's like, go TG, and you see Todd Gurley like doing something like he did.
You know what I loved
in the
about
Super
that?
Bowl.
The first thing that I loved about that, Joe Montana gets the ball. He's like, Joe, not today, cowboy.
Not today,
And I'm
cowboy.
like,
I
dude,
like
that's
that
like
one.
PTSD right there.
That one was funny. I like that.
That was cool. Urlacher tackling prime time Deion Sanders. Oh my God.
No,
that was insane.
I like when you had what was it, Barry Sanders running around and here you see Emmitt Smith like I had more yards than him. That was funny.
Michael Strahan telling Peyton Manning, you still got it. Yeah, but that hurt.
I heard a
though.
little.
Ross, any commercials that kind of lit up for you, or was it just kind of boring? I don't know.
boring.
Okay, there you go.
All right.
Oh no! How about Tom Brady taking off all his 5 rings, and giving the Baker Mayfield?
Oh yeah.
That was hold this.
Nothing
Get
was
out there, old man.
If you guys saw my picture in the group chat, you guys see the Thanos?
Oh yeah. He sends us Dan
block
Morales
you.
this morning. It's like 10:30 in the morning, and I'm getting out of a yoga class. Don't ask why.
You
but
needed a credit.
I needed credit, but I'm getting out of the yoga class, and I get a text from Dan like, oh, "Look, he's like Thanos now."
He's like, hey, the 5 rings, and it's a Tom Brady. I loved it.
This is my best Dan Morales. By the way,
You know who
your
it
team's
is.
trash. Your
Team's trash. It is
Anyway.
trash.
All right, I can't go that low. It makes me cough.
Wow.
Anyway. Oh, God. Awards. That's well, I guess that concludes, since we all hated the commercials.
Dilly dilly.
That concludes all of our. Shut up. I still think that's hysterical.
Dilly.
But I think it's time to go to the awards. The NFL awards were the night before. It was Saturday night.
Yeah, it was the night before.
Saturday night.
That was when the Hall of Fame inductees were introduced. Ed Reed and Tony Gonzalez. Yes. Come on, you love Tony Gonzalez.
I love Tony Gonzalez. Don't get me wrong. I still think he's a traitor. He went to Atlanta to finish his career. Anyway,
He didn't win anything.
it's not the point. Stay a chief. You're a chief. Stay a chief.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on. Because I was going to buy a Tony Gonzalez jersey.
You still technically can.
I'm not going to.
He's a Hall of Famer.
He's not a forever guy.
Really?
He didn't. Did he finish with the Chiefs?
I get that. Fine. Whatever.
Moving on. I agree with that mindset, though. Like forever guys are special to you.
Are we talking in terms of football?
Cam Newton's special to me.
Especially in football, because it's so rare.
I don't even know if he's a forever guy.
I don't know if he's a forever
would
guy.
like to think that
I'd hope he's a forever guy, but if he's not,
I don't know yet.
Hold on. Wait.
I could see Cam Newton playing for another team.
Honest question. Is Steve Smith a forever guy?
In my
he left.
No, hold on.
He's a Ra- he went to the
No. He didn't. No, he didn't leave. The Panthers gave him away. It was the Panthers.
What does that have to do with anything?
Well,
he still didn't finish his career as a Panther.
I know it upset me, but he has come back to the Panthers organization like they are family. Like, he is one of the guys that I will always love. His attitude towards the game, playing for the Panthers. If you look at all of his highlights, do you see any other team that he played for? Except like maybe one play against the Panthers when he was on the Ravens.
Yes, well, here's my thing with forever guys. You have to start and finish your career with a team.
I understand.
And on top of that, look, perfect example, Pettit. I would have written him off if he never came back to the Yankees.
Hold on.
And I was pissed at the Yankees when they let him go.
Yeah,
but hold on, question. Do you think
3 years in Houston? Are you kidding me?
They want to go home.
As a forever guy, Vince Wilfork.
Very upset about it.
Vince Wilfork.
Because remember, he got traded at the end of his career. Same thing with Steve Smith. It goes like this, almost same thing.
It's really hard for Patriots fans.
In my opinion, I think Steve Smith, in my opinion, is a forever Panther. In your
heart, I guess, if it matters to you.
Honest question. I would assume that you didn't start as a Panther fan right away because, like you said, you were a Jets fan.
I was a Jets fan. Yep. And
Who do you consider a forever guy for the Panthers, other than maybe Steve Smith?
If Cam Newton stays there for 5 more years, I think he's going to be a forever guy.
Anyone else?
Luke Kuechly probably will wind up being,
and maybe if Greg Olsen stays healthy, if he stays longer. But I think he started with the Bears, right? So I wouldn't consider him like a forever guy. But he was there a long time. Luke Kuechly, if he stays there long enough, Luke Kuechly's going to be a forever guy.
Let's run through these.
I think Kelsey's a forever guy, by the way.
I think he might be, but let's see what happens with his career. Tight ends are so flaky; they move a lot.
Yeah, Greg Olsen was good 1 year, and the next
yeah,
years,
exactly. Perfect. Thank you. Perfect example. But moving forward, awards. Patrick Mahomes wins the MVP. Does anybody in this room actually think that?
Well deserved.
Thank you.
Well deserved. Very well deserved.
Drew Brees, close.
Second.
No cigar. I'm sorry if you're going to give it to him over completion percentage. Sorry, 5,000 yards
for 50. Basically a rookie.
Yeah, I mean it's too.
He's not
literally.
A rookie.
Yeah,
he also got the Offensive Player of the Year.
Yes, he did. He won the Offensive Player of the Year. I think both well deserved. If you wanted to give Drew Brees Offensive Player of the Year, I would have been fine with it.
I would have been fine.
What got a lot of heat? Coach of the Year, Matt Nagy.
I don't understand that. Who hated Matt Nagy? Nagy.
Whatever. But people thought that it should have went to Frank Reich. Which, the Colts had a really good season, I guess, but no. Nagy completely deserved that. You had one player and that team is totally different.
I mean, if you want to give
Nagy should have won.
I mean, if you're going to give it to a Coach of the Year, and this is a hard take, and I know I'm going to get flack for this, but if you want to give it to a Coach of the Year, who coached their team? What coach took over a team and made their team relevant mid-season?
Who would that be?
Greg Williams.
True.
That
True.
would have been a
That's
good
good.
candidate.
Flack.
The man
Anthony
took
Lynn
over.
would have been cool.
The man took over a team mid-season, and all of a sudden they're winning games.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but
Having said that, I do think that it had more to do with the fact that Hugh Jackson was gone than that he took over.
Anthony Lynn would have been cool.
Oh,
honestly.
great idea.
I'm trying to think. Who
I was
else?
really thinking Todd Bowles could.
I think
Sorry, I just threw up in my mouth. What was
Flack.
that?
maybe this might be a little controversial. Sean Payton would have got consideration.
That's not a bad idea.
not a bad
too.
idea.
Sean Payton, I don't mind it.
Andy Reid.
You know what? Doug Peterson.
Doug Peterson.
That team could have fallen apart. They didn't. Doug Peterson held that ship together.
They just need to sit Wentz down at some point. Be like, all right, Nicky.
Hey, buddy.
You want to play?
Do you want to play?
Do you want to play for
you
us,
want to
please?
play?
Hey, buddy.
All right. Hey, bud.
play
Hey,
up the
champ.
comment.
Hey, champ.
Hey, bud. This is the NFL. Yeah,
Oops.
and it doesn't stand for what you think it stands for, bud. Okay.
Not for long.
Yeah.
No fun.
Yeah, literally.
Which one?
No, I don't care. Either one. He needs to figure it out because I think he's the most one on the hot seat. I know. They're going to wind up getting rid of Nick Foles, but he's on the hot seat. He needs to figure it out.
They want to tag him. They want to tag Foles so they can trade him.
I don't think it's a bad idea.
I don't know
It's
if
a
teams are going
move.
to bite. I don't know if teams are going to bite, honestly, unless maybe the Jags or the Dolphins, which I could see.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
What else do we have? We had defensive player of the year,
Aaron
going
Donald.
to Aaron Donald.
Not
very well
surprised.
deserved.
Very well deserved.
Not a shock
Not
at
a
all.
surprise.
Not at all shocked. We had
Offensive
rookie
rookie of the year, Saquon Barkley.
I'm fine with it.
I am
People
fine.
were going flip flopping.
Bob Baker.
Yeah,
I could have seen Baker.
I could have seen both of them, but I personally believe that Saquon had an insane rookie year with
But
over 2,000 yards from
too many
scrimmage.
records
But
broken.
I
Too many
don't-
records
I don't
broken.
want to punish Mayfield for not playing enough games. That's the Browns' fault.
That's the Browns' fault. Yeah.
I could have seen Mayfield winning it. Whoever would have won, I wasn't going to be upset because I think both of them really deserved it, and it was actually very close. Look, I'm being biased. I'm very happy that Barkley won it. I think that he should have won it, to be completely honest with you.
That man's a human highlight reel, okay?
He
really is.
He's
He's
amazing.
amazing.
Whether you think that he was the right pick or not,
He's
was
amazing.
He well deserved should have won Rookie of the Year because there was nobody
And
better
then
than
with
him.
defensive rookie of the year, we
Yeah,
had
here it is.
Darius Leonard.
Now this got a lot of
I
controversy.
think Derwin James could have won.
Derwin James
No,
got a lot of love.
How about Van Der Esch from the Cowboys?
Van Der
Esch
Esch
is a
was
good
a
one,
good
too.
idea too.
But I like Darius Leonard. Didn't he have the most tackles for the season? He had like 180.
What about
something?
DeMarcus Lawrence? I'm surprised. Well, wait, he's not a rookie. Sorry, I forgot. We're talking about never mind.
Other
I
ones.
just
Flack.
wanted to get through my
You
notes.
just had a senior moment
Just
right there.
Flack.
Just mumbling now.
Flack.
Go ahead.
You should dye your hair blonde.
I really would love to do that, but I'm never going to, so don't ask.
Flack.
Not asking. I was
All right, moving on.
I was suggesting.
Okay. No, I think Derwin James definitely could have had a chance at this, and a lot of people thought so too.
I thought Darius Leonard was going to win it the whole way, and I'm not. That's why I'm not surprised by this.
I was a
'cause,
little split.
I
I don't mind either.
I
I mean,
mind
he
it.
also didn't even make the Pro Bowl.
But does that matter?
It doesn't matter, but but I'm just saying.
Neither does Jamal Adams if somebody doesn't get hurt.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Or-
I love Jamal Adams. He's
I
so
thought
cool.
it was great. I think that whole thing was a setup, by the way. There's no way that was actually real. People are like, oh, he went to the hospital, the Patriots.
He didn't even hit him that hard, but
He
we're not
didn't hit
gonna-
him. He jumped in his chest and then fell.
Jamal Adams became
Nonsense.
Jamal Adams became America's hero right there.
He really did. Listen, we're going to take one more quick break, everybody. We're going to come back. We got some interesting news to break. Anything you want to talk about on the table for the last 10 minutes, 516-572-7440, 516-572-7440. Said it as fast as I could. Can't do it much faster. But tune back in about 15 seconds. We'll be right back right after this.
Come on, everybody. Let's sing along with Bruce.
Join me, Kim Tracy, for the music of Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band on Thunder Road, Sundays at 1 p.m. on the voice of Nassau Community College 90.3 WHPC and on the iHeartRadio app.
Let's do it for America's sweethearts, but I must confess.
Whether you like it or not.
Eric didn't play the song last week.
I couldn't find it. I couldn't find
He
it.
played the beginning part.
Whether you like it or not, unfortunately, that title today belongs to the... Can we stop? New England Patriots. I'm so sick of this.
They're the real America's team. if you want to be
516.
honest.
Yes, they
Half
are.
the NFL's
516.
gone.
Well,
It's in the
honestly,
name.
you as a Giants fan, you should be happy to say that.
What? The New England Patriots?
Patriots are the
It's in the name. It's a Patriot.
I mean, God, you guys beat them twice, so what do you care? I mean, technically, the rivalry is yours.
They don't fare well against the NFC East.
It's weird. It's very weird. This is weird, to quote Eric Fischetti.
Where did that come from?
You said that before.
Oh.
It was after our Patrick Mahomes interview.
Oops.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? Anyway, if you feel free to tune in to Spreaker.com to hear our podcast. You can go back for that interview. It's a special one just for you. We do have some, I wouldn't say news to break, but we did have a cryptic. Why am I having such a hard time?
I got it. So there was some news that could potentially be news, but it's not news yet, but it's news to us.
And we're breaking it.
Kind of.
Sure.
A cryptic tweet sent out by free agent, big bat, outfielder, Bryce Harper. And all it said was loading. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean he's waiting for his Xbox Live to kick in? Does it mean, maybe he's getting a new phone or a new contract?
Well, I think it may have something to do with the contract, but a lot of people are I mean, if you look on Twitter, I think one of the trending things is loading. It was earlier today. I don't know if it is anymore. But,
Trends for me, Ellsbury.
Why is Ellsbury a trend?
Because the Yankees are trying to trade him for Johnny Cueto.
Oh, thank God. Get rid of him. Moving past that and hopefully past Ellsbury, I think it's interesting. And we have to get to the conversation. And we are going to have a special guest, I believe, on Friday on your show.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We're going to have Brett Borzelli from Pinstripe Alley to talk about the possibilities. Love his work. To talk about the possibilities that still may exist for the Yankees acquiring Bryce Harper. He seems to think it's possible.
I have to tell you, as each day goes past and not either one of Manny Machado or Bryce Harper is signed, the more likely it seems to me that the Yankees are still in the running and they're not out. Because, think about it, with Machado, is Troy Tulowitzki really stopping you? Troy Tulowitzki's on the veteran minimum. But is Bryce Harper stopped? I'm sorry, not Bryce Harper. Is Brett Gardner stopping you from acquiring Bryce Harper?
Luke Voit?
Or Aaron Hicks?
Yeah.
Or Luke Voit? Or Greg Bird?
Yeah.
Put all of them together combined, Harper's still better.
Jeez, if Greg Bird, I'll be honest with you right now, if Greg Bird is part of the contract or the trade offer to acquire Johnny Cueto with Ellsbury, I'm fine with it. Bye. You had your chance. You had 3 years. You did nothing.
If either one of Greg Bird or Luke Voit is included in a trade to acquire Johnny Cueto, that just opens up a little bit of first base, and they were talking about Harper at first base.
And he's an athlete. This guy came up as a catcher.
I know. And so did Kyle Schwarber, by the way.
That's true. He did.
Yeah.
Very good point. Wow. Look at us.
I love baseball.
Talking things.
You guys are doing great today.
Yeah. And here's the other thing that comes out to me about this loading tweet. It can be nothing. If you don't know, Bryce Harper was announced as the cover man for 2019's MLB The Show. So that may be what it is.
But it's also something that we have to know. Normally, when you're the cover athlete of, a specific video game, this happened a couple of years ago with Kyrie Irving.
Oh, yeah, we switched teams?
Yes, yep. When he got traded, he was the cover as a Cavalier. So they recalled that and put him in a Celtics jersey.
Yep.
And the significance with the show with Bryce Harper, he's not wearing anything except a blank sweatshirt.
Yep.
Which actually looks very provocative, but that's a different story. And you know what? That's because they don't know where he's going to play. But can you imagine the day he signs, which I am still thinking that it's either the Phillies, the Nationals, either one of a mystery team, and there are two teams that are still in my mind, the White Sox and the Yankees. Honestly,
I think that's where we're at. I think it's White Sox, Yankees. From what I understand, the Phillies have started to express no interest in him. That's
which is weird because they were in on both Machado and Harper
earlier, and I don't know what's changed.
What happened with that stupid money context? Do you remember that when they said, "Oh, we're going to spend stupid money"? When?
Your idea, your guess is as good as mine. It just changed on a dime one day, and no one really knows why.
Too.
It's very strange. But now we're in this kind of limbo with these two players, where these were the guys who were meant to set the market. But I think this is... Listen, I'm not going to go...
One of them's waiting for the other to sign first.
I don't think it's one or the other. I think this is a collective... And this is a huge conspiracy theory of mine.
Love conspiracies.
I think that this is a collective effort by MLB all the MLB teams saying, we don't sign these two guys till later. We bid on them later because we don't want them to define what the market will be for other players. Notice how small the contracts for everybody else were, aside from Patrick Corbin.
That was the only big one. What was the second biggest? Britain? Or Ottavino?
Ottavino wasn't bigger than Britain. Britain got, what is it?
Are we talking years or money?
Well, I mean, what do you want to talk? 3 years or money?
Well, I guess both. If that's the case, I think Britain was the biggest one.
Britain was the...
Maybe Pollock, actually. AJ Pollock.
Oh, there you go. AJ Pollock, yeah.
Which was a good signing, by the way, by
like
the Dodgers. Because, that outfield was kind of barren of talent because when they traded Puig and Kemp to the Reds, they needed an outfielder. And that opened up for me that Harper was going to go there. And the fact that the Dodgers aren't in on Bryce Harper really, really surprised me. Does baseball know something that we don't?
I think it's probable that they do.
Well,
but
to be fair, we don't know
as
anything.
Our good friend and pal and buddy and friend, we're going to go to Ross one more time. Steve K walks in. I remind you, please stick around. Revelations with Steve K comes in.
Wonderful show.
Right now after we get off. Ross, final thoughts before the 2-minute drill.
I was going to say it was the Padres that heard Winston and Harper, too.
He just had a good meeting there. I heard it was great. So, the great point that you just brought up, because that actually could be real.
What's appealing about the Padres? Hosmer?
The weather.
There we go.
That's it?
That's basically it.
Go to the Dodgers.
I just got Steve cracking up behind me. It's the 2-minute drill. Eric!
Happy birthday to defensive GOAT Lawrence Taylor.
Okay, good one.
Yeah,
I'm proud of you. Go ahead. I don't know why it just...
56 for the win.
My two warning, the Knicks also intend to keep DeAndre Jordan to pursue Kevin Durant.
I think it's a good idea. They need a stalwart center.
They're going to bring him back, maybe?
Yeah,
I'm actually okay with that.
I think that might be a good plan in the lieu of this horrendous deal. He's showing the phone. Dan, go.
All here.
Congratulations to the Patriots winning their sixth. Tom Brady winning his sixth.
Congratulate him.
I have to. It's respect.
What's the matter with you?
Come on. Give respect to Brady,
Give respect
not
to
the Patriots.
Fine.
Pitchers and catchers reporting in 2 weeks. What's the matter with you people?
I like football, that's why.
I love baseball.
Fischetti, Ross Levine, Dan Morales, and Steve K to come. I'm Nick Ornberger, and I think I speak for everybody, every single person in this room when I say, oh, wow, what a great broadcast. But it's time to say, see ya, because we are, but don't worry, even though we'll be back next week, same time, same bat channel. Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Try
babe.
the chicken. Make sure you tip your waitress. And tune in next week for WHPC Sports Talk. Stick around for Revelations